Most of my YouTube viewers seem to describe themselves somewhere along the lines of free-thinking, independent-minded, secular humanists. Most of them have gone significantly against the grain at least once in their lives. Reflecting on that, many are so pleased to have shaken free of at least one popular concept that they now see for what it really is and what they could have become, that they encourage others to analyze the popular opinions they hold as well. So it should come as no surprise that when I speak to that audience about the future of education, the most popular terminology they throw around in the comments section is critical thinking, and the most popular use of that term involves the proposed magic bullet of curriculum improvement, which of course is to teach critical thinking. Doesn't that just feel good to say? Doesn't it feel good to hear? Those three little words just slip off the tongue and dance upon the eardrums of the free-thinking community. The small yet fundamental questions that create difficulty with that whole notion are, what the hell is critical thinking, and how the hell does one teach it? Landing on a solid definition for critical thinking can be a bit tricky. Now here's some different ways that it's been defined according to some different authorities on the matter, which are referenced accordingly. Reasonable, reflective thinking focused on deciding what to believe or do. Thinking about thinking. The intellectually disciplined process of actively and skillfully conceptualizing, applying, analyzing, synthesizing, and/or evaluating information gathered from or generated by observation, experiences, reflection, reasoning, or communication as a guide to belief and action. That sounds a lot like just thinking to me. The process of purposeful, self-regulatory judgment which uses reasoned consideration to evidence, context, conceptualizations, methods, and criteria. A commitment to the social, political practice of participatory democracy, willingness to imagine or remain open to considering alternative perspectives, willingness to integrate new or revised perspectives into our ways of thinking and acting, and willingness to foster critically in others. Now this isn't the sort of thing that you can directly teach someone. It's something you can hope to achieve through teaching. Telling an educator to just teach critical thinking like it's a class would be like telling a chef to just cook a specific flavor rather than a dish which provides that flavor. It gets even trickier when you consider the definition of critical thinking to be somewhat subjective, almost like telling a chef to cook deliciousness itself without putting a fine point on exactly what you hope for him or her to achieve. While we might easily agree that being open-minded and analyzing data before accepting it are key elements of critical thought, and that those are instrumental tools in developing a free-thinking society, bear in mind the repercussions that come with that. Different people will champion different levels of critique to be inspired to strike that balance between the lemming mentality and a cynical conspiracy theorist. Sorting through that gray area to nail down an objective classroom curriculum, including a meaningful lesson plan and grading scale, is much harder to do than it is to just say, teach critical thinking. On top of that, most American parents still raise their children under the authoritarian construct of, you do what I say, not as I do, because I said so. While I agree that raising a child to question the very source of its knowledge in hopes that that source will have meaningful answers is a good idea, I don't consider most Americans ready for it. Many are already remarkably frustrated by the beautiful curiosity of their own children. That is the crux of the matter. Teachers can and should challenge their students to be open to being proven wrong and to seek out multiple sources to confirm or disprove both new and traditional constructs in their minds, because that really is, in my opinion, the best way to build an accurate knowledge bank. That sort of encouragement can be worked into pre-existing lessons without straying too far from a set state curriculum. However, if we want to see a generation of young people breaking from the sheep mentality of most of their predecessors, the change has to start early. It has to start and be encouraged by the people raising them at home. Unfortunately, most of the people supplying and raising the next generation stick with the flock and don't stray too far from the shepherd.